Guys, we gotta do better. I was walking down a bike path with my dog, just walking aimlessly, and I realized something. I ain't gotta worry about anything happening to me, but they do. Women do because of us. There's not a lesbian, like, whatever term you want to use. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. Just whatever term you want to use. They're not out there with a strap acting crazy. It's us. So, we got to do better. When you see your friends and see someone else talking about something, talking about doing something, making jokes, you got to be careful with that because that group think becomes something else. So, guys, we got to do better. Ladies, I only bring up one thing. Now, whatever we do is not your direct fault. You can't blame someone else's actions for a direct fault. But my father always told me, lower the odds. Lower the odds of something bad happening. That could be where you go, what you're doing. Lower the odds because you can increase the odds. And that's what people got to remember is you can increase the odds. And, a lady will see that guy that he'll talk to her. And it's a guy that she can dominate. It's always how this works. It's a guy that she can dominate and she can dismantle. And he maybe says something polite, or tries to say something polite, he's a little touch, whatever, and she just disrespects him, just destroys him in public, just destroys him. We've all seen it. We've all seen it. At some point, some of us have been through it. Those are the guys that end up being the craziest. Those are the guys that end up getting a gun and going and shooting a bunch of people or something else. They just snap one day, and they end up in a place. They end up somewhere they shouldn't be, doing something they shouldn't do. So let me highlight that. It's their fault because they're the direct person doing the action. I try to make sure that that's clear. The person that's doing the action is at direct fault. But if I totally dismantle somebody, one of my boys, some dude I don't know, I totally dismantle him in a clown session. I remember when I was a kid, I remember dudes coming back and shooting somebody over that. And it's not the person who made the joke or whoever's fault for getting shot because they it's not their fault, but they contributed to the variables. You have to know when you're contributing to the variables. And in this life, too many times, people aren't responsible for contributing to the variables. They just want to say it's your fault for doing whatever you did, and that's it. And it is their fault. But you contribute to the variables. Let's stop contributing to variables. If some guy is trying to be nice, no, I'm not interested. Now, if he keeps going, destroy him. Destroy him. But I've seen times, and my boys, we've made jokes about this together, where you've seen times where somebody didn't deserve that. And you're like, I hope he's not crazy because, the same crazy dude that would go do something to a woman about women they shouldn't be doing. There's another guy that some dude says something and shoots up a bunch of people, beats up, and people are like, what did them guys do to him? That's the difference. We get blamed when we create a situation. Even in the current day, if he'd have just been nice and been polite to that officer, yeah, he contributed to something. It wasn't his fault. He didn't deserve that, but everything is a contribution. And, we have to know our settings and we have to know what's going on. Again, I'm not blaming victims. Don't put that in my mouth. I'm not blaming victims. If you're a victim, if a person gets victimized, it's not their fault. And then what I'm saying, too, is it may have been someone weeks, months, or years ago that made this person crazy and then they snapped later. So it may not even been the same person. They may have been a bystander to this person's lunacy. But things go around in circles. Things rotate. Things revolve. So if we try to treat each person with respect and do different things, you can't remove it all because some people need medication and counseling. But the percentages start doing this. Now, it stops at a point, but it starts doing this. Hope you understand. Hopes to help you bless somebody in some way.